welcome back to the Girls That Get It podcast with your hosts, Ken and Han. And today we have a very special episode for you guys. I'm going to let Kenna take the reins on this one and give y'all the rundown.
Woo! I am so excited for this episode, you guys. I have genuinely been waiting for it since the day we started this podcast.
I'm scared.
You'd think I would have taken better notes to prep if I really was that excited, but what we're doing today is I am interviewing Hannah. So this entire episode, an entire good hour-long podcast is going to be me asking her the juice, the tea, the funny, the not funny, the serious, just a little bit of everything. I feel like I know her pretty well. And some of these things I don't feel like I know and I want the answers to, but also some of them are things that I think you guys would love to know the answer to as you're getting to know her, as you're beginning to follow her, as you're beginning to fall in love with the Hannah Ranzulli. What an icon, what a legend. So there's a little bit of mixed bag of everything, but I hope you walk away learning something from our beautiful friend. I hope to as well. And should we just are you ready? Are you ready? Any thoughts before?
My heart is literally pounding. Like, I'm scared and I don't know why. I don't know. I just don't know what to expect. And if you guys know me, you know that, well, I'm not terrible at answering questions, but I would rather be the interviewer than the interviewee. I feel like I'm better at that role than answering questions because you'll notice I'll probably say I don't know a lot because that's just my like filler word. But I'll try to answer every question without leaving it vague and saying I don't know because that's annoying and that's not what we're here for. So I'm practicing my interview skills for when I'm on the big screen. Okay.
Yes. Good Morning America. Hit her up. She's available.
Gosh. I guess let's just get right into it. Let's go. I don't know. I have nothing else to say.
All right, Hannah, welcome to the interview. So my first question is, can you just tell me a little bit about yourself?
Why would you ask me that?
Because this is the most vague one I gave you, but I think it can really give you a chance to say anything you want to say, and maybe a little self-reflection, a little self-discovery moment.
Okay. Hi. I feel like I'm being interviewed for a job right now. Like
well, not a job, but pretend
every
I'm
day's
not
an
here.
Interview, baby. True.
You're talking to the people.
Yeah, I am. Nobody's here except for me and my thoughts. Okay, about me. My name is Hannah, if you don't know me. How old am I? I'm 22. I'm from Wilmington, North Carolina, which is a little small, I guess it's not so small, but kind of small beach town on the coast of North Carolina. And about me, I feel like I'm giving a mini life story, but I don't know if that's what I should be doing. I'll just do it. Whatever.
Do you?
Okay. I grew up. I've lived in North Carolina my whole life. I grew up on the beach. I grew up a dancer. I played sports kind of while I danced, and then I quit sports, and then I just danced. And then I went to college, and now I graduated college, and now I'm a grown adult. And well, not quite, actually. I'm about to be a grown adult soon, maybe. But maybe. I'm literally just saying what I've done. I don't know what to tell about myself. I hate that question. I'm going to sink into my chair.
Well, that's why I posted, because I told you this would be the one you struggle with the most.
I don't like that
I think
question.
It also puts in perspective I think how someone answers that question really shows what they view as important in their life, or like, I don't know. And when you're put on the spot, it is hard.
Well, yeah, because I don't want to be like, when someone says, tell me about yourself, I'm like, what do you want to know? Like, I could talk, there's so many areas that I could talk about. I could talk about my personality. I could talk about things I've done. I could talk about like where I'm from. I could talk about my family. So that's why I don't like it, because it's like I could talk for 30 minutes telling you about myself, but it's hard to answer it shortly and concisely.
Yeah, I think it's just for you to say what you want to say, because I honestly answer that question differently depending on the day. But it's not about me. My next question. What are all the names you go by? Include nicknames.
That's funny. Hannah is my name. That's what I go by. Honestly, I think you call me Han, and Sam calls me Han, which is my brother. I don't know that anybody calls me that to my face, though, other than you two, or like sometimes people who I meet that are new who don't know me, but like people who are already in my life. I guess Madeline calls me Han sometimes. But there's that. There's my dad has like 100 nicknames for me. Now he'll just call me like H, just the letter.
That's cute.
He uses that one a lot when he's texting me, or sometimes if we're like together and he's trying to get my attention or something, he'll use it. When I was little, he used to call me a variation of P/Peapod. Like that was my nickname when I was little. And so
I'll start calling you that.
I know sometimes like when he's writing me cards, he'll put like all my nicknames on the top and he'll like still put like the letter P.
Oh, that's adorable.
So there's that. What else? My mom calls me Hanny. I don't know if I like that one.
Oh, that's right. I
don't know.
I've heard her say that.
And also, my mom, she's honestly been, when I say this nickname, you're going to be like your eyes are probably going to widen. But my mom kind of has been calling me this forever. She was calling me Pumpkin for like a long, long, long time. And that's what Al used to call me, obviously. But my mom calls me that too, and I kind of have noticed it more lately.
I kind of see it.
She'll say it and I'll be like, wait, what? And then I'm like, oh, right, you call me that too. So there's that one. What else? I'm trying to think of if there's any more. Oh, this one is so kind of weird and like doesn't really make sense. But my dad's girlfriend, she calls me. I'm gonna spell it out and then I'll say it because it sounds kind of weird when you just say it. It's Teemy, Teemy, and she calls me that Teemy. And
That's kind of cute.
She calls me that because when I was younger, she used to call me Teeny Tiny, and then it went from Teeny Tiny to Teeny. And then it somehow went from teeny to teamy. And so now, like after all these years, she'll call me Teemy. And I'm like, I don't even know where that came from, but here we are. It has nothing to do with my name at all.
It's a cute evolution though.
Yeah, I think that is it.
Those are good. That's more than I thought you had.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people don't know.
That's what we're here to do today, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Next one. I'm not sure if you ever shared this in a first time or if I shared this, but what was the first thing you can remember that you wanted to be growing up?
Probably a veterinarian. I don't know if I said that before or if I've told you. I might have. But
I think, I don't know.
I don't know either. I can't remember. But when I was little, I feel like that's one of the things that everybody wants to be. It's like vet, firefighter, like nurse, I guess.
I would agree.
Artist or like stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
But I just loved animals and I was a little kid and I didn't know what a real career was. So I was like, oh, if I can play with animals all day, sure. So I want to be a vet. So probably a vet. That didn't last long. I don't want to be a vet anymore. But when I was a kid, that's what I thought I wanted to do.
I think that's a good dream. And like you said, I think us all having those kind of like larger aspirations younger, like really motivates us those first couple years. My next question has a couple follow-up questions, but growing up, you were a dancer. Do you have fond memories tied to that experience? If so, elaborate how it all started, all the jazz.
It's so funny because I kind of forget that this part of my life existed. even though I danced from when I was like 4 until I graduated high school, so like 17, 18, 17. And some of like my most like funniest, favoritist, like memorable moments from my childhood were definitely either at dance with dance people or at dance competitions. And I could tell like 100 stories about dance and different things that happen. So I'm not going to do that because that's going to take forever. Also, I need a sip of water. So 1 second.
She is
sorry, my throat.
Water.
My throat has been so dry today, so I just need to take some intermission real quick. I'm sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, the interview is getting to her. We are on question 4, and she is cracking.
Okay,
just kidding.
I'm back.
Just kidding. Lighting the mood.
No, so I'm not going to say anything specific, but the best part, in my opinion, about dancing with the same, well, I'll specify, I danced with pretty much the same company my entire life. I was at one company for 2 years when I was little before. So I think I started when I was 4, and then I came to Fox Troop when I was 6, and I stayed there from when I was 6 until I graduated high school. So I was really able to bond with all of the people who I started with, who ended the same. I grew up with them. I was 6 years old, and then I was 17 when it all ended. And so I got to basically have a second family with a bunch of siblings, and like all of the dance teachers were basically like my second parents. And even though I would get on their nerves and they would make me mad and I would want to yell at them a lot of times, it was like we spent every weeknight at dance practice, several weekends out of town with these people. So it really gave me something to like look forward to and feel like I belonged in. Mm-hmm. And it really is like you cry, you sweat, you bleed with the same people for all those years, that it really is like a bonding experience. And I feel like not many other hobbies, or I guess sports you could say, but even then I feel like you're not as involved. Like you don't travel everywhere for long periods of time with people and spend hours and hours and hours and hours for 10 plus years with the same people. So it was really fun to grow up with people and get to have people who had similar interests and basically have like built-in best friends and also like second family.
Yeah.
So probably just having that like second form of like stability would be like the best part about it. And if anybody listening knows anything about competitive dance, it can be a nightmare for sure. And I can not count. I need about 20 hands to count the amount of times that we would get screamed and yelled at, and we would be sitting there and I would think I would rather be anywhere but here right now. But looking back, it was all worth it, and the good times definitely outweigh the stressful times. And I just feel very lucky to have had like been able to experience all of that at such a young age and go everywhere with all these people and make all these fun memories, because when the competition's over, the fun begins. And there's so many late nights, but like it's just so fun staying with everybody and getting like to spend that time together. So
oh, well, I'm glad I asked that because I learned stuff about that, and that's definitely such a great view of what being a dancer is like growing up. Bouncing off of that, you kind of touched on it. I think something that is commonly asked or debated in the dance world as well as the extracurricular world, do you think dance is a sport?
Yes, because I don't know much about regular sports, because when I was growing up, I did soccer. I did like t-ball when I was a kid, and I don't think I ever did softball. But I did all those things when I was really young, and then I quit so that I could dance, because dance takes up so much time. But I don't know any other sport where you're practicing for 5 hours every night and then like all day on Saturday and Sunday And like, you might think that dancing is just like, oh, it's fun. You're just in there shaking your butt and like kicking your leg. But like, you have to have a lot of athletic abilities to be able to do and hold stamina and like do all the things, especially if you're doing ballet, which if you are in a competitive dance company, most likely you'll be doing ballet because that's a lot of times like required because it gives you the basis of everything else you need to know in dance. So yeah, I think it's a sport because it's just as hard, if not harder, and it takes a lot of physical strength and stamina and work. It's hard. It's basically a workout. That's why I never worked out when I was in dance, because it was my workout and it kept me in shape enough because it was that like taxing and like, you know, difficult. So yeah, I think it is a sport.
Awesome. My next question is also about dance. For anyone that doesn't know, Hannah is obsessed, and as far as I know, has always been in love with tap dancing. Would you like tap as much as you do if you weren't as good at it? And is the reason you don't like the other styles of dance as much as you do tap because you're a stronger tapper?
That's a hard question to answer because that's not the situation. But I think that I would like tap just as much, even if I wasn't as good. But I don't think that I would dislike, I don't think I would dislike the rest as much if I was better at it. Like if I was some lyrical star, I think I would like it a lot more because, to be honest, I used to love lyrical. I begged for a lyrical solo when I was like 11 years old, and they were like, absolutely not. We will not be sending you on stage to do lyrical. You can do a head roll in your tap solo and be dramatic for 2 seconds, and that's your lyrical part. Like, I'm dead ass. Like, like I begged Miss Alyssa, who was our tap teacher at the time, which I love her, honestly. I haven't thought about her in such a long time, but I kind of miss her a lot, actually. She was the OG tap teacher. Wow. I wonder what she's doing. Anyway.
She's like, I should reach out.
Minute. I know, right? I should. I love that woman. She is the best. Yeah. Anyway, that's besides the point. Yeah, I was obsessed with lyrical, and I wanted a lyrical solo because I was like, I want to be moody. I want to, like,
move my body.
Right. I want to feel it. Like, I want to get groovy. I want to get into it. Like, so I think I would like the other styles more if I was a little bit better at them. But overall, I think tap would still be my favorite. Honestly, I love hip hop almost just as much as tap. But I think tap is just like so like unique and different, and that's, I think, why I like it, alongside of that it comes easier to me than the other styles. So I don't know. I think, yeah, if I was better at the other ones, I'd probably like them more, but tap would still be my number one, I think.
Well, that's good to know. Tap is very unique. And I feel like it's something you either love or you don't. Like, yeah, most people don't stick around if it's not your thing, unless you have, like, someone forces you.
Agreed.
Okay. Changing topics a little bit, just as important, what did you think of Drake's new album?
Oh my god. I did not even think that you would ask me this question. Well, I guess you
did my research.
I guess you do know that he came out with a new album because you asked me when I posted about it. You were like, "Wait, was this planned?" Well, here's what I think. I still haven't finished it. Like, I still haven't listened to every single song.
That's interesting.
I think I only haven't heard like 4 songs, so I'm almost done with it. But after I listened to it the first time, I was like, I can only remember 2 songs that I liked. And out of this album that has like 15 songs, I feel like that's not good odds if I can only remember liking one of them. 14 songs. I just checked to be exact. I love Drake. And honestly, when I saw that he came out with a new album, I was in Seattle and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the best day of my life. Like when he comes out with an album without announcing it, that's when you know that it's fire because it's been marinating. He's been in the studio. Like it's going to be good. And then I saw it and the genre was dance. And I was like, that's suspicious. Like, why is this not hip hop or rap? Like maybe he's just trying something different with a couple songs. And so he put it under the dance category. And then I played the first song and I was like, oh, this is like house music, low key, which if that's your style, that's fine. And I have nothing against that kind of music. And to be honest, some of them, after listening to it a few more times, it's grown on me. But it's definitely not his best work, in my opinion. And it's not my favorite album that he's ever put out. But I don't think it's as bad as everybody on social media is making it out to seem, because everybody's like laughing at it and saying that it's a joke and saying like, dude, like, what are you doing? I don't think it's that bad. And maybe that's just me being biased and being obsessed with him, I'll admit. But like I said, not his best work. And there's only a few songs that I would say like are bangers. And then the rest I'm kind of just like, they're cool. I'll play it, but I could live without it, you know?
Yeah.
But that's also because it's not his typical hip hop album, and I'm partial to that kind of album, so it's just not what I was expecting, therefore probably not as exciting to me since I was expecting something else.
Yeah. Do you believe the rumors that he only released it because Beyonce put word out that she was dropping an album at the end of July? Or no? I
didn't even know that until right now.
Okay.
Why would he be competing with Beyonce though? She's not even hip. She's not.
I know. I think it was just if she hasn't put something out in a lot longer than he has, so I just would assume the hype around it might be bigger or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. I didn't hear that.
I just know.
I could see that theory being a thing if it was like Kanye or whatever, but
right.
I don't know about Beyonce. But then again, I don't know about this theory. I don't know.
I'm sure when you're really like that big of an artist, you probably want like all eyes on you.
Probably.
And even if like, I don't know, like a Taylor Swift drop an album, you know, that whole demographic is not going to listen to yours because it's
right.
Anyway, back to my questions. The reason why I asked that is because I truly think part of your personality is your love and affection for Drake. Can you explain to us why he means so much to you and how your love of him kind of began? Like, what's that core memory of like, oh, I'm locked in?
It's so funny that you ask this because like, okay, first of all, I don't even know why or how he became such a big obsession of mine, to be completely honest. Like, but I will say, and I hate that I'm about to say this. Like, I hate that I'm about to say this.
Oh no.
Well, okay. Let me preface with saying I heard Drake because, like, for the first time, probably like on Sam's iPod when he was a teenager. Sam is my brother, for anybody who doesn't know. And if Sam was answering this question, he would say that he introduced me to Drake and that I'm in love with Drake because of Sam, which I will say that yes, the first time I probably heard Drake was from Sam, and because he had his music downloaded and I probably listened to it on his iPod. So that's probably when I first heard of Drake. But I did not truly become obsessed with Drake. And this is the part that I hate that I'm about to say.
I think I know what you're going to say, but like, I want you to say it.
I did not. And if this man is listening,
it's what I think it is.
This is the only thing that you can like put it in my face. I did not truly become obsessed with Drake until I was dating my very first boyfriend.
Yeah.
which I ain't gonna say his name. You know who you
That was
are.
a classy way of saying it because I was gonna be like,
No, he will remain nameless. But if you know me, you know who I'm talking about. And I was 15 at the time, so I was pretty young, and I honestly probably like didn't really hear about Drake. Like the first time I probably heard his music, I was probably like 12 when Sam was like playing it or something in the house. But I didn't really become invested into Drake and who he is and his music until I was dating my first boyfriend, because he was very into hip hop music. He was 2 years older than me at the time, so he knew a little bit more about music. He was more into pop culture than I was, and I didn't really listen to hip hop or rap that much until I started dating him. And Drake was one of his favorite artists, and I specifically remember his favorite Drake song, and you probably won't know this song, or maybe you will, I don't know. It's called Trophies. And
I don't know.
Yeah. She said don't be assuming. Nah, I don't know, you're right. And when I heard that song, I was like, okay, like this slaps, like this got a good beat. And then he would just play Drake all the time in the car, and I was like, hold up, this man sounds like a gorgeous god. Like I need to look this up and add this to my phone. And so then from that day forward, I was obsessed. And then I just like ended up listening to him a lot more on my own time. I ended up following him a lot more on my own time and like learning more about him and just like his music. And then I was like, this is my husband. And so now here we are. And I hate to admit that. I mean, I don't, because I mean, whatever. I was 15.
I think, yeah, every relationship leaves you with something. That's not
22 now. So that was a long time ago. And it's just funny because I just know if he was listening, he would be like laughing and being like, ha ha ha. Like, you know.
I mean, if we've learned one thing, they do be listening.
They do. If you're listening, listen, thank you for getting me
Shout out boyfriend number one.
Literally, because yeah, I'm still obsessed to this day. So yeah, that is the story that I don't think I've ever told, to be honest. And
look at us.
Honestly, I didn't even like know that story kind of existed until right now. So there we go.
That's my job has been done. That's what I'm here to do. Which honestly, I didn't know that. I didn't know the origin story. The reason why I mainly ask is because genuinely, anytime I'm at Hannah's house, I'm at Hannah's mom's house, I'm at Hannah's brother's house, and we're getting ready to go out, the only songs we listen to are Drake songs. Like almost like by the time we go out, I'm like, I'm good. I'm all Draked out for the night. Like,
remember my birthday when we listened to the same song like 30 times?
Yes.
And that wasn't even
like that
me.
week that Drake. Yeah. I do know every word to that song. So
right.
Anyway,
I know, thank God.
Drake, sponsor your girl.
Please.
Plug it real quick. Okay, my next question for you. What is the most defining moment of your life?
I was waiting for this one because I was going to ask you and then I didn't, because I was like, I hope she doesn't ask me. I don't know why I thought like taking it off of the list for you would make you take it off of mine. But that didn't work.
She's like, let me add it back.
What is the most defining moment of my life? No, bestie. I feel like I haven't had it, low key. Is that an answer?
Honestly, that's better than I don't know, so I will accept it.
I don't think I said I don't know yet.
You did just say it, but it was a filler word. It was a filler version.
Okay.
But you can explain why you don't think you've had it or what you think it might look like in the future then, if you don't think you've had it.
Right. Okay. So, defining moment. Okay. Well, I mean, if I had, I'll explain why I said that at first in a second. If I had to choose something of my life so far, it would probably be like when I moved into my dorm freshman year of college, because that was probably like the first time I felt like any sense of independence and adulthood, even though like I was in 18-year-old college student. Obviously, I'm not really an adult, but it's the first time that you feel like you have some kind of like independence and freedom because you're not living under your parents' roof for the first time. So probably that, and realizing that like I'm only getting older, which is I know that like I say that in a way that makes it sound like it's bad, but it's not. But if it wasn't that, which I don't know that it would be, the reason I don't think it's happened yet is because I don't think that I'm a caterpillar. I'm not a butterfly, you know? It's like I haven't blossomed yet.
She's still in her
I'm
cocoon.
still in the cocoon.
That's a good analogy.
And I'm waiting for something to happen. And by something, there's not one specific event. I just have had a lot of uncertainty about my life for honestly ever. Like I've never known what I want to do. I've never known where I see myself in 5 years. Like I could be in Alaska in 5 years. I could be in Australia in 5 years, or I could be in like right here doing the same thing. Like I haven't had like a clear vision for my future, which is why I've always felt uncertain, which is why I feel like I don't think I've had that defining moment. But I feel like when I figure out and when it clicks, like that, like I'm happy with the future that I can see for myself. I think that's when I will say, oh, okay, this is kind of my defining moment, at least thus far.
Yeah, I'm glad you
makes any
answered.
sense.
I think that's a great answer because just as you said, a lot of us have small defining moments, and like I think we all have one now. It just definitely will change if more bigger and better ones continue to come, but that's not to undermine what's already happened.
Mm-hmm.
My next question for you, what is your family dynamic like? Has it changed or evolved since when you were a child?
Okay. To be honest, I don't even really remember what my family dynamic was like as a child. My parents were married when I was a kid, and they got divorced when I was about 8 years old. And so I have memories, obviously, of living in our house when they were married and of like doing certain things. But overall, of those 8 years, I don't remember enough to be able to describe like a dynamic, if that makes sense. So I don't know how well I can say how it's changed or not, but now it's kind of funny because right now my brother lives, so my parents aren't together, like I said, and I grew up in Wilmington, and so my dad lives in Wilmington right now. My mom lives in Raleigh, which is 2 hours away. I live in Raleigh, and my brother has lived in LA for the last like 7-8 years, but he just moved back home to Wilmington like a few months, like 6 months ago, like over Christmas. So for a while, I was the only one. I was like the only child at home still, and my brother moved when I was like 13 or 14. So kind of like my whole high school and like college, well, I guess high school mainly because I was living at home in high school and not in college, but I was kind of like an only child, low key. And I'm not going to say that I was the favorite, but I kind of was. So I don't know. Like I kind of felt like I didn't have a sibling because he was so far away, and we didn't talk a lot when he first moved because I was still younger. But then as I got older and as we talked more, we got closer again. So that was interesting to like have a brother my whole life, but then he moved so far away when I was still fairly young. Like I had just become a teenager, and he wasn't there for a lot of the like stuff that when I was like growing up and like a lot of those like milestones in high school. So it was just me and my parents like for a lot of it. But I will say now, since my brother has moved back, it's kind of funny because I would say that for a while, like in the beginning of college, even when Sam was still in LA, me and my dad were closer and my mom and Sam were closer. But I think now it's kind of switched. And I think me and my mom are a little bit closer and Sam and my dad are a little bit closer because my mom lives 5 minutes from me. So I see her a lot more than I see my dad. And I still talk to my dad a lot. But I swear I can't get a hold of this man anymore because he and Sam are like besties. Like they are. I'll call one of them and be like, "What are you doing?" And they'll be like, "Oh, I'm with dad." And then I'll call my dad and I'll be like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I'm golfing with Sam." And I'm like, "When are you guys not together?"
They just live in life, bestie style.
They are, which I mean, good for them. And I know that they're both happy being able to spend time like that together because Sam was gone for so long. So I don't blame them, but it's definitely changed a little bit in that way now that Sam's been home. But overall, I will say one thing that I am very like happy about and grateful for with my family is that even though my parents divorced, they still make a point to like be at the same things together to support me, or like they will communicate if they need to. Like they don't hate each other because I feel like I know some people, which you never know what you're going to get and everybody's family dynamic is different, but I know some people whose parents are divorced and they don't speak and like they aren't cordial, they aren't friendly enough for the betterment of their children. And it makes me sad because I'm lucky enough that my parents are nice to each other, and I mean they don't have beef. It's been a long time since they split up, so everything is fine now and they're both happy on their own. But they've been really, really good like ever since I was little on making sure to like communicate with each other and still have a relationship in a way that makes it easy for me and Sam to have divorced parents, because it does really suck a lot of times trying to navigate two different families, but they've made it as easy as they can. And considering not a lot of people have that, I feel fortunate in that manner. So that's a little family rundown on that.
Woo. And one thing I'll add, I won't say much because this isn't my interview, but just spending more time with your family, specifically in the last few years, like your family goes hard for each other. And I really, really admire that as an outsider looking in, just because I think that's great qualities to have. And it's such a good backbone to have in your life, is people that like not only just show up for you, but show up in the same way that you show up for them. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Okay. On a little lighter topic, how old were you when you found out that Santa wasn't real?
Oh my God, right now, 22? Wait, what? He's not? Oh my gosh. I gotta make some calls.
I didn't want to say it because if you haven't heard, now you know.
So funny. That is so funny. I don't know. I think probably, I think the first time I think I almost caught somebody in action when I was little at my first house when my parents were still married, because I specifically remember like there was 1 year, and I don't remember how old I was, but I had to have been younger than 8 because that's when we lived in that house. And I remember 1 year around Christmas time, I like thought I heard something, and I was like thinking like, oh, it's Santa, I'm gonna go catch him and like see what he's doing. And I think like I opened the door to go out in my room, and like my room was right next to my parents' room, and then Sam's room was downstairs. And I can't remember if it was my dad or if it was Sam that like caught me as soon as I like stepped one foot out of my bedroom, and they were like, "What are you doing? Like, you're supposed to be sleeping." And I was like, "I thought I heard Santa." And they were like, "Well, you don't want to like interrupt him while he's like blah blah blah." Like, and they probably said something like, "If he sees you, like you don't get any presents," or something like that.
Right.
Kind of like you're cursed if he sees, like, if you make eye contact, you turn to stone and you get no presents or something like that. And so I think I was like, I almost caught it, but I vividly remember probably when I was like 9-ish, maybe 10, I like full on caught my mom in the middle of the night when we lived in, like the first house we lived in after we moved out of my like childhood home.
Mm-hmm.
My room was upstairs, her room was downstairs, and we had like one of those railings that you could like see over the living room.
Yes.
And I heard some ish in the middle of the night at Christmas. I opened the door and I saw her at the tree, and I said, "You busted, lady."
Dang.
I don't think I said anything to anybody, to be honest. I don't even know. I might have said something to Sam, but I was like, "Dang, it's all a lie."
She
like,
wasn't even gonna tell me.
Nobody even told me. I caught her in action, and I don't think they ever like addressed it. I think I just realized, and then they realized, I realized, and then it was kind of like, oh, yeah.
Right. That I feel you on that. I feel you.
So, yeah,
it's good they didn't have to sit you down and be like, "Well, Hannah,
we got something to tell you,
something."
yeah, literally.
Literally. That's suspicious. Okay, my next question for you: what do you think your best personality trait is?
Listen, I do know. You just got to give me a second.
No, I know you know. My next question, but behind it is, what do you think your worst is? So as you're racking your brain, you can think about both.
Okay. Honestly, I think my best and worst are the same.
It do be like that sometimes.
I think that my best and worst at the same time is how blunt I am.
This is good.
Like, I feel like if you don't know, which you know, but for the people out there,
you're talking to people.
I'm pretty blunt, and that can be great because I view it as I'm just an honest person, right? I just tell the truth. That sounds so like evil. Like it sounds like I'm like, it sounds bad. No, but I'm pretty blunt, and I think it's good because I just, most of the time I'll just say how I'm feeling, and I'll say it like it is. And I really don't like to BS. And so I think that's good because it's like I'm just honest, and I'd rather, at least me, I'd rather just hear it straight up how it is than have it sugar coated and then be like hurt down the line. But some people don't take that as well. And I will admit, sometimes my delivery is not as nice as it could be, which is why I think it's my worst at the same time.
Yeah.
Because not only can other people take it the wrong way, but I can deliver it the wrong way sometimes. And then it can just like turn into me seeming like a bitch when in reality, maybe I can be sometimes. We all have our flaws, okay? But I only have good intentions when being blunt, if that makes sense. So that's why I think it could be my best, but also worst at the same time.
That's a good answer. We love a self-aware queen. All right, moving on to the next. What is the most spontaneous thing you've ever done? I do think you've answered this at one point, but I didn't know if it had changed.
Wait, do you know what my old answer was?
Yeah, I thought you said a picnic one time, but maybe I'm just making things up.
I mean, that was fun. I don't know how spontaneous. I don't know. My most spontaneous thing, probably. What?
I know. You say, it's not my interview. Let me stop.
Wait, you know what my most spontaneous thing is?
Yeah.
I know what my most spontaneous thing is, and I don't think it's the same at all.
Okay, we'll share with the class.
Okay, and then I want to know what you think, because maybe I'm forgetting something. The first thing that came to my mind was going to the Drake concert that I went to. And the reason why it was spontaneous was because I remember I was living in Boone at the time, and me and my boyfriend at the time, well, I'll just say who it is. Me and Josh, because whatever, I don't really care.
She's like, I won't say the first one, but I'll say that one.
I'll say that one because I'm pretty sure everybody. I swear some people still think me and Josh are dating. I'm not even lying. Like, they don't, but you know what I mean.
I get what you're saying.
You know
and if I was
saying.
an outsider and I didn't know you, like, I could see.
Right. Not even but I swear, like, after a whole year of us not being together anymore, people were still see me in public and be like, how's Josh? And I'm like, bro, you're a year late. Anyway, that's beside the point. But me and Josh really wanted to go see Drake in concert, specifically me. But Josh loved him too. And we were like, yeah, let's do it. And so we looked up tickets and they were just like stupid expensive. And there wasn't a good city for us to go to. I was living in Boone and Josh was living in Wilmington, which they're 5 hours away from each other. And we were doing long distance. And so we were trying to find a place that would be convenient to like somebody pick somebody up and we can ride together and like it not be way far away and it not be way expensive. And we couldn't find anywhere. And we were like, well, I guess it's not meant to be. I'm pretty sure like a week before the concert, we bought tickets, spent $300 and went, and we ended up being front row. And I specifically remember calling my dad, telling him that I was doing this because we went to the show in Atlanta, and he was like, don't do that. Like he basically said like I couldn't do it, and I was like, I don't care, I'm doing it. And so I did it. And he was really mad, but it was worth it. Because
I'm glad you went to that.
It was such a fun night. I don't think it was quite $300. I think it might have been like $200 or something, but then we like paid for we got an Airbnb at the last minute.
Yeah,
like did the whole thing. So
that's
it ended
not
up
as bad as I thought it would be.
I know
for Drake tickets.
I was shook. I think it's because it was general admission, and it was kind of like if you want to be in the front, you have to sit out and wait in line all day. And it was like a week before, so maybe they were just trying to get rid of the tickets.
That's something I don't like, but that's a topic for a different day.
But it was a lot of fun and like the best concert I've ever been to by far. And obviously I'm obsessed with him. So it was a dream.
Hey, well, that's a good one. I didn't.
Yeah. Wait, what did you think I was going to say?
I thought you were going to say your trip to Seattle.
Oh, that's kind of what I thought you were going to say. But no, that one's not as spontaneous as the
Or
concert.
when you breakdanced at that one party. Those are my two go-tos.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one.
Anyway, moving on. What is the first thing you think of when you wake up in the morning?
Oh my gosh.
That one was good. I was proud of that one.
Huh. It depends on the day. Lately it's been, I hate my life. I just want to go back to sleep.
Oh, bestie.
And that's not even because like I'm unhappy with certain parts of my life. That's because I've been working at 10 a.m. and I have struggled to get up before 10 a.m. lately because I don't know, maybe this is just me, but I hate going to bed early. And so when I am laying in bed and I know I have to get up early, I'm like, I'm dreading going to sleep because I have to get up early. And then I'm like, but I need to go to sleep because I need sleep since I have to wake up early. But I don't want to go to sleep because then that means I'll be like, I don't know. It's like a weird cycle to where I end up making myself stay up late, and then I have to get up early and I'm exhausted. So probably that, which is such a lame answer. But right now I'm not thinking about much else when I first open my eyes.
That's okay. That's one of those that changes as life evolves. My next question, what motivates you? She made a really funny face for anyone not watching the podcast.
What motivates me is probably I was gonna say like happiness, like the motivation to like get to obtain the feeling of happiness, whether I don't have it and I'm longing for it, so I'm motivated to get it, or even if I do have it, to maintain it. I would say either happiness or like my future self.
That's a good answer. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't that. So I like that.
Hey, I answered something good for once.
No, you've answered them all good. Stop being down on yourself. Okay. This was the question they asked us this morning at work for everyone to share, like in our icebreaker meeting.
Mhm.
What are you most proud of yourself for?
Damn, this is one of my
Yeah.
questions for you. This is the one question. This is the one question that I was going to ask you. Well, this is the one question through this whole interview that you've asked that I'm also going to ask. So you better get to thinking. What am I most proud of myself for? I don't want to say what I thought of off the top of my head. So give me like 5 seconds to see if I can think of something different.
Say it.
Well, I was going to say graduating college with a 4.0 GPA.
That's good.
But that's like dumb. Like I've talked about this before, so I'll keep it brief. But the only reason I think about that when I first hear that question is because the moment I started college, I did not know what I wanted to do, and I didn't know what I wanted to major in. And so I told myself, if nothing else, I'll have a 4.0 so that even if I don't know what I'm doing and don't have anything else going for me, I can say that I got a 4.0, which is a pretty big accomplishment to have throughout your whole college career. And to me, grades aren't everything, obviously, and a lot of people are not going to look at your GPA. It really, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. But to know that I worked hard and was able to maintain that, I feel pretty proud of myself for. So,
yeah,
I would say that as I'll just say that as my answer.
That's good. You don't have to, just because it's not what other people think, or, I don't know, don't belittle your accomplishments, or, second guess yourself. If that's what you're proud of, that's what you're proud of.
You're right.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I have a few more, then I'm going to do some rapid fire. But
okay.
For now, what is something you wish you did more often?
The first thing that came to my mind is dance.
Oh.
I danced my whole life, as we know already. And throughout college, well, specifically at NC State, I danced once a week because I was a part of a tap club. But I definitely wish I did it more, and I wish that I was just about to say that to
my
you
ring
about your
light
lighting.
broke halfway through, so I've just
Oh no.
I just put my phone flashlight up. I'll fix it for the next one. But anyway.
Yeah, we're fine. We're almost done.
Keep it moving.
Show must go on. Probably dancing is my first answer, but other than dancing, something I wish I did more was not be on social media. That's
ooh, preach.
That's kind of a not that's I wish I did that less.
Yeah.
But it's the same idea. So that.
Okay. If you could go back in time and change something, would you? And if so, what would it be?
I don't think so. And
okay.
The reason why is because I think if you would have asked me this question 2 years ago, I would have said yes.
Ooh, I'm curious what that would have been.
Maybe not even 2 years ago, but the last 2 to 4 years, if you would have asked me that, I probably would have said yes. But now I think I'm saying I don't think I would change anything, because as I've gotten older, I've realized that every decision that you make leads to where you are now, whether it's a good decision, a bad decision, a medium decision, whatever it is. And I think that I don't want to say that everything happens for a reason, because I mean, while that's true, it sounds cheesy, and I don't want it to, I feel like that's just a cop-out thing to, explain why something bad or good is happening. It's everything happens for a reason, which, yes, it does. But I think that there's so many outcomes so many different paths that your life could go. If I decided to stay at App and not transfer to NC State, I could be in a completely different place right now. I could be having completely different friends, or if I decided to go to ECU instead of App when I first went to college. Like, I would have a completely different life, and you don't know what that life would be. So to me, there's no point in thinking, well, what if I did that? My life could be better. Well, you didn't. So you don't know what that would have been like. And for all you know, it could be worse. So I feel like what's meant to happen happens. And I don't think I would change anything, because I think the decisions that I make, even if some of them end up resulting in not the best outcome in the moment, I think it all leads to the bigger picture, and like at the end of the day, it'll all make sense and be worth it when you are where you want to be. And that might not have happened if you made a different decision. So I feel like I don't think I would change anything, because I guess the short answer would be everything happens for a reason, even though I don't like that.
No, I think that's a great answer. I think you explained it really well. I know people do think that's a cop-out answer, and I can see why. But I think if you take it literally instead of saying it in a half-assed fake tone, quite literally, the good and the bad leads you to where you're going.
It's true.
Okay. This next one I have for you is, what is a misconception you think people have about you? Set the record straight. Time to come clean, or time to put people in their place. If you heard any rumors going around about yourself, anything you're like, you just got it twisted, internet, let them know.
A misconception that I think people have about me? Ooh, this is a tough one. I don't know. I've said this before in specifically, there was a video that we filmed when we were in the car driving, and I can't remember which one it was, but I remember saying in that video that I feel we were talking about it was the one where we were talking about like our impressions of each other and like outsiders' impressions of us. And I specifically remember saying in that video that like I feel like people just don't think about, like, I just don't exist to them. Like, they know I exist, but I don't think people have thoughts about me or my life. Like, not because they don't care or because they don't know who I am, but I just feel like I'm just like I don't want to say I'm a background character, but I feel like I just don't, like, people just don't think about, they don't have opinions, which is probably far from the truth, considering like we have a YouTube channel, we have a podcast, and I have my own channel. So people probably think all types of things that I don't know about, but I don't know why. I just feel like nobody has an opinion. So I feel like that's a hard question for me. Not even in a bad, like, I'm not even trying to shit on myself and say that like I'm a loser and no one cares. I just feel like people think Hannah, and that's all. They don't think Hannah the this and that. They just think there I am, which maybe might be good.
I was gonna say it's better than negative, okay?
Yeah, but I don't know. Misconception. I don't know. The only thing I might say is that, like, I think because I am blunt, sometimes people think I'm a bitch, maybe, but I don't think that's people that I just know one person who thinks that, and so that's why I said that. And I'm not. You're
gonna have to let me know later.
I'll tell you when we're done.
Okay.
But for somebody who doesn't know me, like if they just saw me on the internet, I don't know, they would probably think I'm like an innocent little girly. And maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. I ain't here to set any records straight, okay? That's going to be a mystery till the day I die. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
I was going to say, what do you mean?
With all of that I just said, just take something from that, because I don't think I said a coherent thought in the last 5 minutes.
You were great until your last statement, and then I was like, huh?
I'm all over the place. I don't know. I'll say
okay.
I don't know. Okay, next.
I'm going to do 3 rapid fire questions next, and then I'm going to end on one final question.
Okay.
Okay. These are all going to be fill in the blanks.
Mm-hmm.
Blank makes me me.
This is rapid fire. I'm supposed to answer right away.
Yeah.
Blank makes me me.
Yeah. What makes Hannah Hannah?
Girl, you tell me.
It ain't my interview, sweetie.
Blank makes me me. Honestly, I was about to say not knowing.
That's good.
like not knowing makes me me.
The day you start knowing, we don't know her.
What else makes me me? Let me think of one more. Hold on. You put me on the spot. This is
The whole interview's been on the spot.
I know, but like being rapid fire puts more pressure to like
I know.
get out an answer right away. I think I'm pretty understanding. I don't know. Makes me me. Sure. Whatever. That's not a good answer, but that's what it is.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Stop saying the answers aren't good.
I'm just insecure, okay?
I know. I'm hyping you up.
Thanks.
Okay. Next. I can't go a day without blank.
Drake.
Good talk. Something I wish more people got to experience about me is blank.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Thank you.
Dang. Hold on. Can you repeat that one more time just so I make sure I know?
Yes. I said something I wish more people got to experience about me is blank.
This doesn't have to be one word answer, does it?
No. Whatever you want to say.
Okay. I think I wish more people got to experience like getting to know the deeper side of me, because I feel like a lot of people don't know or see that side of me besides like you.
Well, they don't
like,
put the time in. But...
True. That's on them, not me. But probably like the more like sensitive, deeper side of me.
Yeah, that's a great answer because I don't even see it that often because she doesn't.
True,
really...
I don't even. Who is that? I don't even.
We won't talk about it. Anyway, okay. I do think specifically that question that I just asked needs like everyone needs to answer that because something as before I say my final question, I think really the person like all of us go through life, and I think some of us, maybe not all of us, but wonder like or just wish someone would just ask us this specific question, and it's hard to know what that question is. And as a professional interviewer now, it is my full-time job to be taking the notes, doing the research. So my last question for you, is there anything you wished I asked you about in this interview that I didn't?
Damn, that's good. And also kind of similar to my last question for you. Not giving you a sneak peek. Something that I wish you asked?
Yeah, or is there anything like
that like we didn't talk about?
Anything that you're like, me as a human, this embodies me, and we didn't chat about it.
I don't think so. I'm actually very glad that you didn't ask about a specific topic.
Oh, I told you I wasn't going to do that.
I know. Well, there could be two topics actually that you're thinking about. I'm thinking about one. Anyway,
we'll chat later, and that can be its own podcast. Because
right. Oh no, not that. Different thing. Anyway, I think you did a really good job. Here's my final note. Cut the cameras. My final note is that I think you did a really good job, actually. And you asked a lot better questions than I was expecting. No offense. No, you did good. Like I feel like you answered a good variety, and I felt like I enjoyed my time here. Like it was fun.
She's like, I will be back. I tried to tell a story. Because I didn't want to answer anything for you, but I tried to also have them lead to one another.
You did good. So, I'm satisfied with this. I don't think without like reflecting or re-listening to it back, I don't think that there's anything I would add necessarily, because I feel like you covered it well and you did a good job. And you answered some questions that I kind of forgot. Like I completely forgot about dance. Like I wouldn't have thought to talk about that at all until you asked. And to be honest, I didn't ask like hardly any questions specifically about dance for you. So
yeah,
yikes. But
I just tried to think of like, I feel like as your best friend, I try to think of the things that make you you. And like, sure, we all know why you like or that you like Drake. We didn't know why you like Drake though.
Right.
And part of me was like, I feel like I didn't even scratch the surface. So maybe we'll do.
I was about to say that.
A part 2 in the future, because there's also topics we agreed before we filmed this that we weren't going to do anything like too personal or too emotional, which I do think there'll become a time where we do share those things on this podcast. Right. It's just not at this moment.
Not yet.
So as we continue to heal, maybe they'll come out. But yeah, that's
That
going
was
to wrap up
good.
this episode. I'm really
Yeah,
proud
it
of
is.
you. I did think it was
Thank
a great
you.
episode. Great interview, great conversation all around.
Mm-hmm.
But be sure to go follow Hannah on everything. She's just at hranzuli on TikTok, Instagram, at Hannah Ranzuli on YouTube. Like and subscribe to this podcast, rate and review, all the good things. We will be filming my interview next, so go check it out. It'll be out next Sunday.
Stay tuned. I'm excited for this one. Not even because anything bad or good is happening, but you're the good answerer, so I'm ready.
No! Anyway, we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.